I think it's really important that we find a way to address young Black and Indigenous people who don't know the heritage, who don't know their culture, who don't feel necessarily welcomed, or who feel so ignorant about it that even when we are welcome, we don't feel okay to come. And I think creating a space where it's like, yes, come with your ignorance, come learn, come be embraced, and come find healing here is important.
As far as who we are, this project came together because all of us represent a whole lot of different things happening in the community, and we are all linked together through Solidarity Economy, and people who are already organizing and connecting and building cooperative businesses and cooperative communities. And so we wanted a place where we could all do that together with the goal of connecting Black and Indigenous communities and identities. We want to make sure that we are focusing on food and land, and so we want to support the farmers that already exist in our networks and bring young people to them, connect them so they can really get their hands in the dirt. That also includes spreading knowledge of Indigenous foods and planting methods and seed keeping.
In the Native community, we say that you can have prayer, but it's not a ceremony until you have a feast. We already have a system where there are ceremonies going on, and including some of the different tribal commonalities in our ceremonies. When we have water ceremony, having something from both the African and the Native cultures. That was one thing we were talking about. And finding shared land where some trauma happened. So having a place where we can have some shared healing on land that was shared trauma.
Right.
We have access to dozens of young people, young Black people who want to learn how to farm, who want to be part of growing food and healing. And so those are people who have gone out of mentorship programs with Solidarity Economy, with a Red Circle, with the folks here at Art House, with all of our organizations. And so we're tapping into that existing resource to be able to invite those people into all of these different activities.
One of the things that we were talking about as a big impact is that there be more shared traditional experiences like a powwow and like a Kwanzaa, and those type things, like digging in the ground and the traditional things that we know are common.
And we also want to have an economic impact. We want to be able to show, for example, the Native Women's Care Circle has been selling food and running successful businesses around food for a long time. And so if we can teach that skill to people, if we can teach them that growing food and being part of a food or solidarity economy that is moving towards healing is economically viable for them, then we need to do that. We would ask for a total of $30,000, and $20,000 of that would go directly into the hands of elders and organizers who are putting their time into events, but also most importantly the youth who would be participating and eventually leading their own projects. And so we want to have a pool of money that is available for them to be creative and to develop whatever is going to happen out of these conversations. And then the remaining $10,000 would be spent essentially for food and event and just costs going into gathering and organizing people, as well as any sort of tools or shared equipment and resources.
Funding is what liberates people to make the movements bigger.
Right.
And that's just the truth.
Right.
Because without the funding, you still have to do your job so much that you can't do the work as much.
Right.
So.
Fund our healing!